What is up, guys? Rick Hackus here, and these are my first impressions of the Division beta on the Xbox One. Now, if I slur my words or sound a little weird, it's because I'm pretty tired. It's around 3:40 a.m. right now as I'm recording this, and the beta actually came out at 2 a.m. Now, the reason I'm doing this now is because I actually just beat the beta. Like, it just gave me the notification that I've done all of the main quests in the game. That's pretty much all that there is being offered in terms of quests for the beta. So in only about an hour and a half, I've completed the main quests within the Division beta. Obviously, my first impression was, oh, well, that's a little sad. I mean, it is a beta, but it would have been nice to get a little bit more quests. With that being said, like, obviously that's just one slight criticism, but I think the positives are that there's still a lot more to do in the beta, it seems like. The Dark Zone, I haven't tried that at all yet. In fact, when I completed the main storyline quest and it said, you know, that's kind of it for the beta, it then just directed me right to the Dark Zone. It's like, get to the Dark Zone, there's still a lot of loot to be got, there's still some looting to be had, and it is in the Dark Zone mainly. And on my map as well, there's still some events. I don't know if they're necessarily quests, side quests per se, because I didn't just do the main quest. I actually did like 2 or 3, I think 3 side quests additionally. So I did more than the actual main storyline within the beta, and I still beat it in like half an hour. But again, it does still look like there's a lot of activities to do, especially involving the Dark Zone. I'll keep you guys updated when I do that tomorrow. Now on to my real first impressions. What did I think of the game? Well, I thought, you know, right off the bat, my first ever gunfight, I just kind of found myself thinking, wow, I really like the gunfights in this game. Like, I really just kind of like the combat mechanics. The third person utilizing cover system is very reminiscent of, you know, the old Rainbow Six Vegas's, which I loved, and it's just very, very, I don't know, it kind of is something about it that feels kind of realistic. Maybe it's the setting, you're in an actual real life setting. I've been playing Destiny for so long, it's kind of weird to see real buildings, and the cover system, all of the movements and all of the motions done by your character are very realistic, and it's just kind of something a little new and a little bit different than the first-person shooters I suppose I've been playing as of late. But it feels really, really good, and it also feels like it surprised me how hard it was to kill enemies. I wasn't really expecting it. Some of the more basic enemies, you get very used to killing them, but they take a lot more shots than I maybe was initially thinking, and in addition, you actually really have to kind of be accurate. You have to be on your shit when it comes to engaging enemies, because there's actually recoil in this game. And, you know, in a lot of third-person shooters, it makes it so that as long as you're behind cover, you know, you basically somehow have laser beam rifles. But not really in this game. The starting gun that I first got, which was an M4, I really had to, you know, if I just held down the trigger, it would really recoil, and I found myself, you know, really tap firing by the end of the beta, kind of trying to be as accurate as possible, because you do get, you know, a substantial bonus for landing headshots. So I did like that aspect. I found that pretty neat, that you really got to be on top of your shit. It's not like some third-person shooters that I've played where you just kind of get behind cover and then you just shoot your laser beam rifle from behind cover and you just mow down everyone from 1,000 meters away. I also really enjoy, not only do I enjoy the combat, but what I've been able to see of the loot system as of yet, I think is absolutely fantastic. And I was a little bit worried with the loot system in this game. Loot systems, and you know, this, keep in mind, these are first impressions. You really gotta spend hundreds if not thousands of hours with a loot system in a loot based game to really determine how good it is. But just first impression wise, I really like what I've seen. Firstly, the actual diversity in the weapons you can get seems to be quite good. My SMG felt quite different than my assault rifle, which was quite different, obviously, than my shotgun. And I do like the system that they have, where you have 2 main weapons and a pistol, and the pistol has unlimited ammo, so you're never really going to find yourself in a situation where you're completely screwed. You can fall back on your pistol if you really need to, but in terms of your 2 other weapons, I think they can pretty much be whatever you want. I was rocking the M4 as my, main go-to primary, but then I actually looted pretty early on a double barrel shotgun, which I was running as my backup on when I would get low on ammo on my main weapon, because ammo is actually kind of a worry. You can't just go around gung-ho because you will run out of ammo for your, in my case, assault rifle, so I had to rely on the double barrel shotgun, which was pretty effective. And then near the very end of the game, I found a neat SMG, and that's when I really kind of discovered the attachment system. The attachment system is really fantastic. Not only are you finding all of these guns in terms of loot, like the guns by themselves would have been a pretty substantial loot system, just finding all these guns, finding the M4, the Scar H, all these different real life guns in a loot system with their different rarities. And in case you guys don't know basically how they determine rarity, every gun is essentially going to be, I actually think I maybe found one white gun, but pretty much every gun is going to be green. And these green guns can spawn randomly with a talent. But then you can find blue guns that have 2 talents, or purple guns that have 3, and I don't know, I think gold might have 4 or 3 with extra attachment slots, but whatever. But basically, the rarity of the gun is determined by these traits, these talents, and these talents are basically like perks. 10% extra headshot damage, bigger magazine sizes, more damage against bosses, all of these things can spawn in as these perks. And so, again, that's a lot of diversity just within the guns, but I really appreciate how they've gone the extra mile, and I really got to play around with the attachment system. The attachment system is actually sweet, so not only are you finding these guns, but you're finding attachments to put on them. Like early on, I found a reflex sight for my M4, and it increased the range by like 2.5%, so it's just going to be able to carry its damage by 2.5% more. However, and I thought, that's kind of a cool thing, and my M4 actually, it was just, a green M4 that I started with, had 5 attachment slots. I could have a stock, I could have something on my barrel, I could have an optic, I could have a magazine slot, and I think there was even one more. So the amount of customization in terms of attachments is amazing. And I put this reflex sight on, and I was amazed that you could actually aim down sights, and you'd press down, I think there was the left trigger, and I would aim down sights a little bit more. And I was really surprised by that. I thought it would just kind of be a cosmetic thing, but no, I could actually increase my zoom a tiny bit as if I was looking down a reflex sight, and a little red dot would appear. And then I actually found, near the end of the beta, I found another sight. This time it was a 3.4 times zoom sight, and I put it on my M4, and to my surprise, when I aimed down sights, it wasn't just an increase in the third person zoom. I went into essentially first person and actually looked down this sight. So now my M4 has an actual, functioning sight that I can utilize as if it was, first person. I really think this is awesome, and additionally, I'm able to, because this is when I got my SMG, and I took my reflex sight and put it on my SMG, and was able to, again, I took it from my M4 and put it on my SMG, and I was able to put the higher zoom scope on my M4, so you're able to mix and match these attachments as much as you want, whenever you want. So if it turns out your SMG isn't that good, you can just take all the attachments off of it and put it on other stuff. So I really like that. I was worried initially when I heard of this attachment system that it might be kind of like, you put something on your gun and it's there for good, or you can't like mix and match, but essentially the guns are these items that you get within the game, within the loot system, and so are attachments. They're also just treated as items that you can get, you can mix and match, and there's different rarities of attachments as well. I didn't experience anything other than green initially, but apparently they go all the way up to gold, so you can get a gold foregrip that's just going to increase your stability substantially, which I like as well. Now there's also this crafting system that unfortunately isn't in the beta, but you can break down your weapons and get, cloth or fabric, or, in terms of weapons, you can get weapon parts. And I also was getting all these schematics when I would complete certain missions. Again, I'm not even sure that you can utilize those in the beta, but for example, for completing a side quest, I got the military Scar H, I guess it was blueprints, the military Scar H blueprints, so I suppose then I would be able to unlock the military Scar H to make if I get the necessary materials. It's also very easy to dismantle things. You can just do that in your inventory, which is nice. You can also sell stuff, and I suppose, you know, kind of a tip for you guys is that in the beta, since there really isn't a crafting system, don't dismantle anything, sell everything, because there wasn't anything being offered originally by the merchants when I first went into the main base, but at the actual end of the beta, there was some blue guns being sold that were way outside of my price range. Like, I had like $500 and they were being sold for like $2,000. So I would say just sell all of your crappy stuff. Don't dismantle it because there's no crafting system in the beta. Sell it, and then hopefully you can buy yourself a blue gun later down the line. But first impressions, really like the game so far. I just really enjoyed the combat mechanics, the movement, the cover system was really awesome, how you could kind of, A was the cover button, and I like how A was the cover button, this was on the Xbox One controller, and B was the mantle button, and like kind of the scaling jumping button. So you weren't, in some games, you know, Mass Effect springs to mind, A is, you know, take cover and mantle and do everything, and it's just too much, and often you find yourself mantling an object that you didn't want to mantle, you want to take cover with. Separating these buttons seems like a really good idea. And so you're doing different things with these different buttons, so you really kind of do what you want to do. Sometimes in those third-person shooters with the cover-based mechanics, you find your character doing stuff, you know, mantling something or going to cover that you didn't want to do. This really didn't happen that much. I'd be lying if I said it didn't happen at all, but it didn't happen that much in the Division beta. Now, that's pretty much it for my first impressions. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I've got to go to bed, and I'll be back on tomorrow, and I'll be bringing you guys more videos. So again, I hope you guys enjoy. Make sure to rate, comment, and subscribe for more Division content, and as always, have a good day.